Hey friends, it's Elizabeth Morse. Welcome back to Cooking Out of the Box. You are joining me from my kitchen here in Indiana. And in Indiana right now, it is getting pretty cold outside. It is definitely fall. And I was harvesting, this is my last pumpkin from my garden, and I picked it today and brought it in and kind of served as my inspiration for making this video today. I think pumpkins are totally underrated. I think when we think about pumpkins, we think about sweet stuff like desserts, pumpkin bread, pumpkin pie, coffee drinks with pumpkin, and those things are all delicious, but we're really missing the boat if we don't think about using pumpkins in savory dishes. Here's why. Pumpkins are nutrient-dense foods, and what that means is they have tons of vitamins, minerals, fiber, but they're super low in calories. And that's a great thing because it makes you full and doesn't cost you as many calories, basically. So it's a really good choice. Anyway, what I was thinking about is, since it's kind of cold and crummy outside, making a pumpkin soup. It's quick, it's easy. It takes about 10 minutes to prepare and like 45 minutes from start to finish. I think you're really gonna like it. It's creamy, it's savory, it's filled with all kinds of good stuff, and it will serve 6 people. So I'm gonna go over in just a second the ingredient list and we're gonna get started cooking. Okay everybody, I'm back and I have assembled all the ingredients that we are gonna need to make our quick and easy pumpkin soup. So the first thing that we've got is 2 tablespoons of butter, not a ton. I've got 2 tablespoons of flour. Let's see what else. Half a cup of applesauce, sweetened. I just used one of those little dishes from the kids' lunch because that's what I've got on hand, and it's about half a cup and it's easy. We've got canned pumpkin. You need 15 ounces. This actually is a little bit more than we need. A quarter of a cup of diced onion. You can use a white onion or a yellow onion, does not matter. We've got 4 cups of chicken broth, ground ginger, ground nutmeg, and heavy whipping cream. And what we're gonna do, and I'll kind of walk through this, but just as an overview, we're gonna heat the butter and the flour and make a roux with our onions. And that's gonna serve as a thickener to make our soup nice and creamy. Then we're going to add almost all the remaining ingredients. We're gonna add the spices, the applesauce, the onions, the chicken stock, the pumpkin, and we are gonna let that cook down, oh gosh, about 20 minutes. And then finally we're gonna add the heavy cream. And then we will let it cook again. We're gonna bring that to a boil. And that's really it. I love to serve this soup with crusty bread. I think it would be great with just a green salad, maybe even just dinner rolls, but I think you're gonna find that it's super easy. I think your family's gonna love it and you are gonna want to make it again. Okay, everybody, I am back. I have my pot on over medium-high heat and I dumped my 2 tablespoons of butter in. I just added my onions, and what we're gonna do is let those saute. I just want them to be translucent. I don't want them to get brown. They're really fragrant. I'd say a minute or 2. The recipe calls for finely chopped onion. I like them a tiny bit chunkier than that, so mine are just a smidge bigger. But what you're looking for is those onions to just start floating just a little bit on the butter and to be clear. And they're just about there. It really only takes a minute-ish. And so I've got onions and butter, that's it. And for the record, I use unsalted butter just because that's what I like to cook with, but you're welcome to use either. It's not going to affect the taste too terribly much. You're just not gonna add any salt at the end probably. So the next thing I'm gonna dump in is flour. And what that's gonna do is it's gonna mix with the butter and make a roux. And the roux is gonna be used to thicken the broth that we put in. So there goes 2 tablespoons of flour. And I'm gonna stir that around. We're just gonna cook the flour taste out. So we've got onions, butter, and flour right now. And that's really gonna be the base for our sauce. I guess it's not really a sauce, more the soup base. 1 second here while I grab a can opener. Put that Another little stir. Smells awesome. The next step is going to be adding almost everything else. I told y'all this was a super fast recipe, super delicious. It's definitely going to end up being a favorite, I'm sure, because it is so easy to prepare. Okay, I think this is just about ready. My onions are good. All right, now I'm going to pour in my four cups of chicken stock. Give that a good stir. I've got half a cup of sweetened applesauce. I know that sounds kind of weird, but trust me, it's going to be super delicious. I'm going to add my pumpkin. I should point out, you can always use fresh pumpkin and roast it, but what I find is that for this recipe, the canned pumpkin is just so much easier and faster, and really just makes this soup fly by. So anyway, you can do either, but my suggestion, oh wow, this looks amazing. I'm gonna add a little bit of nutmeg. And I thought I had some nutmeg that was already ground, but I don't, so I'm just gonna use this zester and a little nugget of nutmeg. And not too terribly much. Nutmeg's a pretty warm spice. That is about 1/4 of a teaspoon. I have a nutmeg heater in my house, so I go a little bit easy on that, even though I love it myself. Oh my gosh, this smells so good. All right, and also 1/4 of a teaspoon of ground ginger. I'm just kind of eyeballing it because I've done this kind of for a long time, and I'm pretty confident in my ability to measure just by guessing, but you do what is comfortable to you. Wow, this looks really good. So I can't remember if I mentioned before that when I make this soup, I really like to serve it with either a cold salad if I've got that stuff on hand. If it's one of those really busy nights and I just need to get dinner on the table, then I probably am just going to serve it with some bread or maybe some dinner rolls. If you have some croutons in your pantry, you could just toss those in the top. That would be good too. Okay, so we've got everything in. Just to recap, we've got butter, flour, onions, canned pumpkin, applesauce, and our spices, which are nutmeg and ground ginger. We're going to bring this to a boil, and then I'm going to reduce the heat and let it simmer for about 20 minutes. And after that's done, I'll come back and I will finish it up for you. Okay, y'all, this has been cooking for about 20 minutes to set a simmer, and I'm going to go ahead and add my cup of heavy cream. I'm going to give it a little bit of salt and pepper because I tasted it while it was cooking, and you'll remember I did not use salted butter, so just a little bland, and I like things pretty zesty. So you'll have to taste and see what you think at this stage, and then season it for your family. All right, so everything's in the last little bit, and I'm going to bring this back up to a boil, let it go for just a couple minutes, and then I will be back to show you what it looks like and serve it up. Okay, friends, that's a wrap. Easy pumpkin soup, beautiful, super tasty. Do me a favor, make it for your family. Drop me a line and let me know what they think. And thanks for hanging out with me tonight and trying something new. See you next time.